In this game, I'm going to show you my my latest rapid play game that I played on Friday night. I played against my opponent twice, as in the cup that we're playing in. You play your opponent twice with white and black, and they're both 30-minute games each on the clock. So I quite enjoy playing in this cup, as I quite like playing rapid play games, and it means I get to play white and black as well. So I get to try out my openings of both colours. Okay, so I've played e3. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know why I played this move. Basically, I want to play classical Dutch as white, and so by playing e3, I'm going to go f4. If I play f4 straight away, then this runs into the From's Gambit, which I don't want to do. So this needs quite sharp play. I mean, you can go e4 and go into King's Gambit here, but I don't know any of that. Okay, so I'll go e3 first. Okay, so my opponent played knight f6, f4. So now g6. So it's normal developing moves. So my opponent's sort of playing King's Indian setup after d6, and I just carried on my plan. The reason I quite like playing this as white is it doesn't matter what black does, I'm just going to do the same sort of plan where I can put my knight on c3, queen on e1, queen comes over to the king's side, play for e4, and I get a nice attack. Okay, so he played c5, knight c3, knight c6, and now e4. So now I've got this nice central pawns. Bishop to g4, and now queen e1. You'll see the idea of this. So not only does my threatening to come over to h4, but after my opponent exchanges, and now knight d4, attacking my c2 pawn and my bishop. The idea of queen e1 as well is now I can drop my bishop back on d1. Okay, so now my opponent played e5, and king h1, and queen d7. And the reason I don't think this e5 move is very good is because, well, after I take, he takes, and now bishop to g5, you see the real weaknesses that are created against in black's position. I mean, I'm surely going to have a knight on d5 on this lovely outpost after he played knight e8. Knight d5, so immediately I'm threatening to play bishop e7, winning his rook. And also I've got a straightforward plan. I can play c3 to get rid of this knight. Stick my queen on h4. I've already got good position. Okay, so I've provoked black to play f6, and after bishop h4, my opponent played g5, which I just think is a terrible move positionally, because now all these light squares around his king are so weak, and even after bishop f2, my bishop's very well placed on f2, since I'm threatening to go c3. And maybe one pawn on c5, and if he retreats to knight e6 after c3, then it's bishop g4, and already you can see that black is in a real mess. Okay, so you've tried knight c7, which is acceptable, I guess. So I'm at knight e3. Well, obviously I don't want to exchange my good knight for his bad knight, and on e3 I'm hoping to come to f5 at some point, maybe, or come back into d5. And I can kick the knight of c3 still. Okay, so my opponent went knight e6, and now I'm at bishop g4, so just pinning the knight against the queen. And now my opponent played queen d6, which is a strange move. I guess he's wanted to get out the pin and probably protect the c5 pawn. I don't know really why. I'm not really threatening to take at any point. I guess he's trying to play solidly. Okay, but after c3, now he's starting to run into a bit of problems. Knight c6, now queen d1. So now I'm ready to come queen b3. Here's knight f4. Queen to b3 check. King h8, and now knight to f5. Now already I think black's in big trouble here. The game ended very shortly after queen takes d3. As now I'm simply winning a piece. Queen takes b7. I'm threatening a mate on g7, and I'm just taking a knight on c6. My opponent has completely blundered here after queen takes e4. I guess he probably thought this is a good move as it defends his knight and threatens to mate himself, but now after queen takes g7, that's checkmate and game over. Okay, so that's how the game ended. And after queen takes b7, black is lost here, since save he does defend the bishop. Then I can just take on c6, protect the e pawn, play rook d1, and black is lost here. Okay, so you can't take on d3. His position does look a bit hopeless already. Okay, so he's got to protect this b7 pawn. So maybe after queen c7, but then bishop takes c5, attacking the rook, and the rook might come to d8, I guess. Okay, and now I could probably play d4 here. Lots of d4. My position looks very strong. Okay, so I mean, there isn't really, can't see anywhere else for black to play. I mean, after queen's d7, she's going to run into discovered attacks from the bishop, and I can still just take on c5. And even after, say, rook d1, knight takes on d3 is always going to look a bit dodgy, as now he's got a pin against the queen. Yeah, so I think Warrior's position is completely hopeless. I thought it was lost after, so yeah, it's pretty much lost after g5. G5 was an awful move. It just allows me to get so much squares around the king for my bishop and my knight, as you saw in this final position. So it's in this position here. Bishop and knight are very well placed. So yeah, that g5 move earlier on, I think sealed black's fate. So, I mean, after this position, okay, so my opponent played g5 here. I think a better way to play is just develop. Normally, maybe play queen d6 here, adding extra protection to f6. Okay, had he played that, I probably have gone c3. Maybe, I don't know, knight c6, bishop b3, king h8, and then maybe rook d1. I still think white's got an advantage here, but at least black's still in the game after g5. We quickly see that his position falls apart very quickly. So yeah, that was the end of that game. In my next video, I'm going to show the game where I played him again as black. And by the way, the team I played for was Wellington, and so we had to win. It was a 5-board match, and so we had to win 10-0 to win the match because there's a rating handicap. So none of us could lose a single game. So there's no pressure. Fortunately, in the end, one of our players, our top player, drew his first game, which meant that we'd already lost. The final result was 9.5, half to us. Yeah, but that meant we lost the match, unbelievably. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.